Hey guys out there, hope you enjoyed what was it? Oh, yeah, it was the seminar on the underserved community. Um, we've got the it was actually a pre-recording in case you thought it was really live, and we've changed our clothes really quickly. We haven't. Is anyone in the same clothes? Karen, was you wearing the same top as before? Was that? No, you wasn't. I know. Jackie was
No.
outside. Yeah, but Fawn had the same pictures behind her. Oh, drinking low, and I've got a blue T-shirt. So yeah, so this part is live. This is the Q&A part. This is where you guys can ask some questions live of the panel. Anything in response to what you saw, or just something live in general. You can ask us what we're drinking. Maybe you can talk about the drinks that we recommended you drink and say, yeah, it was absolutely amazing. It was actually terrible, but as none of you had vodka in your glass, it was probably a good drink anyway. So let me just reintroduce everyone, just in case you don't know who you are. And I'm going to go from clockwise from the way I'm looking at it. I have no idea how you're looking at it, but to my right or left, to my left, we have Karen Hoskins, all the way from somewhere in Colorado that I can't pronounce. And below me, this is like the Brady Bunch, the old Brady Bunch thing. I'm pointing downwards now. We have the maestress herself, all the way from Uncle Dearest in Tennessee, Fawn Weaver.
Cheers.
And last but not least, I'm going to go diagonal like I'm a bishop in chess or a knight. like a knight. We're going all the way to Brooklyn, New York. Jackie from Brooklyn Summers. Yeah.
Home of the notorious B.I.G. and R.B.G. Yes, both are from Brooklyn.
That's it. Who else is from Brooklyn?
The notorious R.B.G. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
You were from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I know B.I.G. was from. He's a Jamaican, really. He's a Jamaican, just like the president, number 47 is going to be Jamaican.
Hey, yeah.
Anyway, we won't go into politics. We won't talk about politics. Anyway, so have we got any questions? We got a question from Debbie Cofield, who basically says, I've been moving a bit over the past few years, and I'm just unpacking for my most recent. Oh, okay. I can tell you how happy I was to find a bottle of Sorel amongst other stuff. Debbie, you're doing better than me. You're doing better than me. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Jamaica. Yeah, man. Sit there. And I can't get his Sorel Liqueur anywhere. I saw one bottle years. It's like a unicorn. I'm looking for the new stuff.
You will.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right.
I've had Uncle Nearest, and it's fantastic.
Yay.
Thank you. Debbie said, looking forward to trying the rum from Montana. Yeah.
Montana?
See?
Montana. Who's in Montana?
That's what Debbie said. Debbie Cofield. So it's not just me getting it wrong. I've got an excuse. I live across the pond. So to say Colorado, Denver, Cresty Butte is not easy. Anyway, but yes, thank you. Someone just said, I can tell you, Equiano rum is delicious.
Agreed.
Agreed.
It is very good.
Oh, thank you guys. Can't wait to pair it with a splash of sorrel. See, Jackie, they're already talking about cocktails for us for next year's Brooklyn show, next year's Tales. We'll be doing cocktails and all that type of stuff. But anyway, guys, since we did the last presentation, the talk, has anything changed in your life dramatically? Start off with Fawn. Anything changed?
No, everything is everything. Yeah. Everything is just keeping the nose to the grindstone and making sure that we continue to push this thing forward no matter what is going on around us. And Lord knows there's a whole lot that keeps popping up around us, but excellent. We just are staying focused. We have to.
Excellent. Jackie, anything changed for you? New investors, new company, new brands? Sorrel Baltimore.
Well, New York City was officially declared an anarchist jurisdiction.
No.
Hey, that's fun.
What?
But yeah. My little tree-lined street with brownstones, anarchist jurisdiction by the federal government.
They must know you're in the hood. They know you're there. That's the reason why.
There's a lot going on. I do have investor meetings this week. Sorel is most likely going to be in the market for this time next year, along with other brands I've been working on. My book is probably coming out next year. There's a lot of fun stuff in the works.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
And the big secret project is moving forward.
Moving forward.
All right.
Moving forward.
Like
Karen?
There's a legacy project I've been working on. It'll be my next 20 years in this industry if I'm blessed to live that long, and it'll be the thing that I think will help put the thumb on the scale for underserved communities. Stay tuned.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Karen, what's happening with you? Anything new? I should go wrap.
So, just on a little technical point, there's another tab which is called Q&A, and there are some questions over there, just so you know.
Or something. Okay, I'll click on there and see what's up there. Oh, wow, there's loads of questions. I'll go, Karen.
All right, I'm just here for the tech.
Hey, Ian, on this chat, can I answer a question for Jeremy Provost?
Please do, answer it.
Because he asked about 1820 being available in Massachusetts. It's not going to happen.
Why?
We will, because the 1820 is only available at the distillery. And then what we do allow is for some of our top clients, retailers, and around the country, we will do barrel deals with them. But I have super strict rules on those barrels, which is that you have to sell every single bottle before we will even ship to you, and it can never hit the shelf, and you can't promote it at all on social media.
Oh wow, okay. Especially in Tennessee.
Because the moment that happens, then everybody else starts hitting us up going, well, what about ours? What about ours? And so every single retailer that reaches into us, they get the same list of requirements. It's long. And then I approve a really small number to go into the marketplace because I want people to come to the distillery. That is where Nearest Green's legacy will live on long after I am dead and gone. That is where his legacy will live on. So I want people to come out to the distillery. So 1820 is only available there.
Okay, that's fair enough. Although saying that, there are many rum distilleries I've been to that started off with products you could only get distillery. And then about a couple of years later, they then sold it into duty free. It's only in duty free. And then I'm finding it in a local store in London, except for Sorel. I'm not finding it anywhere. So I'm going to give you seconds I get in my hands.
Working on it.
Question. Someone asked a question. Anonymous said, what can someone do on a personal level to help change the status quo in our industry who isn't in leadership at a big brand yet? Jackie, what can someone do?
So this is actually a really great question. If you are going to model the way people were useful during the civil rights movement in the 1960s, there were 4 different categories you could put people into: organizers, rebels, advocates, and helpers.
Yep.
Each one of those categories is something completely different. Organizers were literally just people who could put all the right people in the room. Rebels were the loud mouths, the people who created the emotional energy around the movement. Advocates are people who are actually somewhere where they're positioned to help make change. Mm-hmm. And I always forget the fourth category by the time.
Supporters.
Helpers give individual one-on-one help. Like, there was a woman, and I can't remember her name right now, but literally the thing she is best known for, although she did many things, at the end of the day, when the people stopped marching, when JFK and his troop were done marching, there was a woman that fixed them all dinner.
Wow.
Like one person that just fixed meals for everyone in the civil rights movement. And that's what we do, isn't it? We feed people and listen to them. So if all you can do is feed someone and listen to them, do that thing. It's something you can do as a helper, as an advocate, as an organizer, or as a rebel. Let's say that you are stuck in your house and all you can do is make social media posts. Do that thing. The best thing to do is something. Do that thing.
Can we get some T-shirts made up for that, Jackie? Yeah, do that thing. Do that thing. I think we should
do that thing.
That's gonna be our motto. Us four as our motto. We're gonna walk around every time we see someone to say something. What do you reckon? Do that thing. What do you mean? Do that thing. Don't sit on your butt. Do that thing. Oh, another question. Oh, this one's getting a lot of love here because everyone's saying, ask this question. Fawn, I absolutely love the story behind Uncle Nearest whiskey. Do you find it spread organically, and how integral to the success of the brand was it?
Yeah, it definitely didn't spread organically. And I only know that because I do about 5 to 7 interviews a day. And I have, which is how this interview is overlapping with the Atlantic that I end up having to hop off for in about 5 minutes and to hop onto that one. But on any given day, I am back to back doing press. And so I look at earned media as what's been increasing our MA, our mental availability. But that is that if the story was not there, then I don't know that I have as much to talk about. And I think the story is so nuanced. And at this current moment, what drew me to the story was that it was this story of hope. Right. It was this story of love, of honor, of respect. It's not something that we see very often during that time between a Black person and a white person. I mean, we're having a hard time figuring that out now. So to see this happen back in the 19th century, at least for me, it fuels my fire every single day that even just by talking about this, that we could figure out how to recreate it. And because if we had what Nearest and Jack had, then we wouldn't need these panels. Right. Because they treated one another equally, whether or not the country around them did, they did. Yeah. And so I think that if we can figure out how to do that in our industry, what they did in their industry, we don't need panels like this. So did it spread organically? Absolutely not. My team and I work our tails off, pun intended. We work our tails off, have from day one to get this story out there. But in that, it is the fact that we have such a fire in our bones because the story is one of love, honor, and respect. And it's the moment that we want to be telling it is right now. I
like the line when we don't have to do panels like this anymore. We still will, but we'll be talking about our skill set. It's a bit like what Karen said to me in Miami at the Miami Rum Congress about first year, which was last year or something like that, when we had the title of the seminar was Women in Rum. Karen was like, well, we'll know we arrive when we don't have to have titles like this. It'll be just like Master Blender. So yes. Happen to be women. Yeah. Master Distiller. Yeah. Happen to rum only. Happen to be women. Question for you, Karen. What is your advice to young entrepreneurs? When I say young, I mean younger than me, because I know I'm old now. So I'm talking about young, like.
Yeah. So I would say that the advice I wish someone had given me was that, because I'm 12 years in at this point and started with, some money out of my own savings account without investment and without, really even knowing what the heck I was doing, to be truthful. I would say that, there are going to inevitably be some of the worst days you can fathom, some of the most panic you've ever felt, and some of the, sense of complete and utter doom looming. And at those moments, what I've had to do is just say, you know what, it's just rum. It's just, at the end of the day, my husband is healthy, my kids are healthy, my car drives down the road. There will be a moment when it will all be okay again. And I think a lot of people, when they hit that moment, they just throw in the towel or they walk away, or they're like, this is never going to work. And actually, for me, those moments have been right on the cusp of the biggest progress that I've made in the company. So then, 2 weeks later, I'll look back and be like, God, if I had thrown in the towel 2 weeks ago, where would I be right now? I would have walked away and this opportunity wouldn't have happened. So I think people go into it thinking it's going to be really easy and fun, and it's a lot of work.
Question here: Will Uncle Nearest be available in Africa, Fawn?
We are already in South Africa. But yeah, of course we will be. Right now, my focus is the US. We were rolling out an international strategy, and then we have a president that was giving me whiplash with all of the trade wars. And so I was like, we're in a trade war with who? Why? And so rather than trying to figure out who we are at war with on the trade side, we just decided there's so much opportunity here in the US that needed to be our focus. And once we have a little bit more calm around the world as it relates to us and our tariffs, I mean, be nice to roll those back and some other things. So our focus is the US, but we are in South Africa a little bit. And you can find us in a few places there, but we do not have an intention of pushing forward for probably about another 12 months. Okay. And, you know, maybe we'll have someone else in office that knows how to shake a hand. So yeah.
2 years, Jamaican, remember that. Anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Georgia Gilmore, fed the civil rights activist at the start of the bus boycotts in 1955.
Yes.
Gilmore. Thank you, Jennifer, for giving us that. Next question down here. I thought, this one, I suppose this one maybe to a bit of everyone for. I've heard you speak repeatedly about the lack of resumes for African Americans in positions in the spirits industry. How would one submit a resume if unsure where the openings are and where would be a great fit based on skill set? I'm sorry, would it be for I'm saying my words, so we have a drink.
I can tell you where we post our where we have always posted our positions and where we get the bulk of our resumes is called Bev Force, BEV as in Victor, Force, FORCE. And the key is you don't have to be in this industry to apply for a position in the industry. There's a lot of skill sets that will transfer over. So for instance, I have hired through Bev Force 30-something salespeople. All of those positions were posted first on Bev Force, and none of them had a requirement of sales within our industry. It could have been coming over from any fast consumer goods industry. So just even if you don't think that your skill set matches, we need you. So just put in the resume and see what happens.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
There's a few people that I will say that I absolutely hired specifically because I wanted more African Americans, and they absolutely did not have the skill set for the jobs I brought them in for, and we trained them. And so just go ahead and send it in anyway and see what happens.
Excellent. I see Jackie there pulling out the funk. It's time for that.
What? This is sales of the cocktail. Why am I the only one drinking?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? I'm drinking my rum. In fact, no, this is not rum. I'm drinking Uncle Nearest all the way here in London. Drinking my 1856. Who's that?
This is me. This is my assistant going, you're supposed to be on the Atlantic interview.
Forget the Atlantic interview. You're having fun. We're drinking rum. We're drinking bourbon. No, sorry. Whiskey. But we're still waiting for the Montanya rum.
The Montanya rum. Hey, I saw someone ask if Equiano and Uncle Nearest will do a collaboration. I think it's a brilliant idea.
I'm going to get to that one. Equiano. That could be the Equiano. The Equiano and the Allowed Equiano and the Nearest Green collaboration we could do too.
Yes.
One was known for making spirit, and the other one bought their liberty by selling spirit. So yeah, we could do something. The world's first African Caribbean rum and the world's first African American distiller. I think we should talk.
I love it. And we might, it's, although I am generally against for our purposes, of sitting it in barrels that are for the secondary finishes and all the rest of that stuff, just because we aren't we still need to solidify ourselves with what Nearest did before we start venturing out into other things. But I wouldn't be completely opposed to doing like one barrel, right? And then doing something fun with that barrel for charity or something.
We can still save traditions, because in the Caribbean, our rum is bottled in Barbados, and historically they had no trees inside there, which is why we once used barrels. Before the new law, the law came in where you had to use new woods for bourbons and whiskeys. We were using wine casks, Madeira casks, and things like that. So we could use an ex-Uncle Nearest barrel to
well, you know what? You tell me what you need and how you need me to get it to you, and we empty an awful lot of barrels every day around these parts.
Let's go. Is there any chance, can you get some Sorel Liqueur while you're at it at the same time, so I can get one?
Now, Jackie, come on, Jackie, you've got one bottle you can send to Ian, don't you? Just one?
One, you know, right now all the bottles are going to investors.
Listen, I'm not mad. So, Ian, what he's saying is you need to invest.
Well, I know. Speaking of investment, Jackie, and maybe Karen can help this. Since some people might have not have seen the whole of the presentation, is there any like little tips that you could have as a because I know recently you got some investment into to Montanya Rum, and of course, Jackie, you're seeking investment. Any little tips you could actually give a budding brand owner or a startup brand that's looking to get investment into their new brand?
After you, Karen.
It's interesting because I was just thinking about this for another interview the other day, and I realized that, you know, so they say out there in the general world, if you're asking for investment, you have to ask 100 times to get a yes, right? That's generally 100 times to get a yes. If you're a female founder and you are receiving less than 4% of the total venture capital in the United States, I don't know the numbers for the UK, but then that means that you have to, I mean, by my calculations, you have to ask more than 400 times to get a yes. Probably more than that, actually, because 4% is not 1/4. So anyway, so the reality is for me that when I decided that in order to handle the growth that was coming my way, I needed more incremental capital. I had to just ask and ask and ask, and I got so unfearful of asking. And excellent. You know,
Jackie, any little tips? I know you've had of all of us, you probably had the hardest struggles in trying to get investment into brands.
There are two stages that this has to happen: your seed capital and then your growth capital, and they're very different things. Your seed capital, the best thing you can do is really be prepared. Like going into the market, you're talking about untested people and an untested product. The more you can do the back end work so that you can answer questions that are going to come at you from investors 400 times, at least, or in Karen's case, 4,000 times, the more back end work you've done so that you can sound like you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yes.
You're going to get someone going, maybe he's not a complete idiot.
Right, okay. That makes sense.
You got to do the homework. You got to come prepared. If not, you can't expect anyone to hand you anything. Yeah. Everything in this is worked for. And the amount of work that goes into it behind the scenes is staggering. You're going to look at how cool Karen and Fawn look. You have no idea how hard they work.
That's so true. No, that is so true. That is so true.
But there's so much. I mean, Fawn is literally doing 15 things right now. Right now.
The funny thing is I'm literally pulling up this video for this interview for The Atlantic, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to run 2 Zooms at the same time? We're about to find out.
Well, that's number one. Like, if you're just starting, like, you're going to have to ask 400 or 4,000 times. But if you're unprepared, don't expect anyone to take you seriously.
Yeah.
The second is with seed capital. It's a whole different market, and you have to be able to show, as Karen and Fawn have shown, that you actually knew how to do a P&L sheet.
Yeah.
That you knew how to do more than just post on social media. Like, your big idea does not matter unless you know how to run a business.
Yeah. That's so true. So true.
So your idea is cute, but unless you can prove that you know how to run a business, and that means looking at your profit margins, it means making sure that you're growing at a rate that's sustainable. There's so much that goes into this. But if you can't do those things, and I'm not saying that to discourage people. I'm saying that to go, do your homework.
Yes, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but Karen and Fawn and myself, none of us had experience in liquor before we started our companies.
That's true. Yeah.
All of us learned on the fly. So basically, figure that if you want to do this, you are jumping off of a bridge and building an airplane on the way down.
Wow. This is
learn fast.
There's so much sound bites here. I mean, I'm gonna, my new business, besides launching a new rum, and I'm gonna do a t-shirt company with sound bites from Jackie Summers. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be the Jackie Summers soundbite t-shirt company. Because there's so many. I hope someone's recording. I hope someone from Tails is recording this because I've had a couple of drinks and I've forgotten some of the sound bites, but it was so good they moved me to forget what they were. T-shirt.
We just got the 10-minute warning, didn't we?
Did we get 10-minute warning? Oh, we did. See, because that's another thing, guys. In case you don't realize, actually, Karen's running this seminar. She's getting all the information queued up to it, and I can't hear it. I can't hear anything. I'm just going with the flow. Jackie. 2-minute warning. I thought you were saying something. Saying, please. Anyway, so is there any more questions? I think we've gone through all the questions that people asked. We did that. Advice. Yes. Any questions you guys would like to ask each other? Karen, what would you like to ask Jackie? Jackie would like to ask Karen. Fawn's gone. Another presentation.
Where do I get a bottle of your rum?
What? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You do not have a bottle of your rum yet, Karen.
I will send you one.
Some. I can highly recommend it.
Yeah, of course. I have sales staff on the ground in New York.
You make your way through the anarchist horror that is New York City.
Well, and we've been at so many events together. I just assumed that you had one in your hand. I'm sorry if I got distracted.
Well, I'll arrange it. That's part of my job, you see, as a rum ambassador, to get everyone on the same level drinking rum. But I think we're being kicked off because Karen's gone now. It's just me and you, Jackie.
Yo, listen, it is always good seeing you.
It's always great seeing you, sir. And I just seriously and sincerely, I just cannot wait to actually be able to do this live around a table, some drink in our hand, talking crap. Oh man, I'll say shit, aren't I? Yeah, talking shit.
I'll see you on Wednesday, though.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
See you on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, you're on Wednesday. We are going to be around a round table. Yes. Can't wait. Quick, give a quick plug in case anyone's watching. What's happening on Wednesday?
All black panel, first time ever.
Excellent. And I remember.
Stay safe.
Excellent, guys. Thank you for tuning in for this Q&A. Hopefully, we enjoyed the presentation for the underserved and entrepreneurship, and I can't remember the rest of the title because it's not up there because my cues aren't there. But you know what I mean. You know what it was. You were here. That's the reason why you're here. And thank you for my guests, Fawn Weaver, Karen Hoskins, and the amazing Jackie Summers, who's still here. And guys, I will see you. I'll see you on Wednesday when Jackie's coming.
See you Wednesday.
Jackie's going to be hosting. I'm going to be there drinking my rum with some fabulous, amazing people sitting around a table, just chewing the fat. And yeah, we are all black.